Okay, I'm finally back. I think it's been like 2 weeks since I've done anything. Um, I looked at some notes and I think where I was. Let me bring up Insomnia. Like where I was, I had this stats collection endpoint done, but I wanted to create this stats read endpoint. I think that's where. I think that's where we were. Mm-hmm. That's what it looks like to me. Let's see. Bring up Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code. Sheesh. I don't know if y'all have ever used actual Visual Studio, but that is a mess. I have used it before. It takes like a year to load, and it's slow, and gone are the days of IDEs, thankfully. So this was add to stats. I think, let's see what I had written down. So that is async. That's what the payload looks like. Um, I think I left that as a post, right? What did I do to it? Yeah, it's a post. I feel like that's fine. I think. I'll leave it for now. So the query parameters for start and end dates. I think if neither a start nor end date are given, then I will default it to today. Reads only the site statistics for given days. Only retrieve up to 7 days MVP. And the reason I want to only retrieve up to 7 days for now, well, one is the TTL is going to probably stop you, but from getting much past, if you're trying to get like 2 months, you're probably not going to get it. I don't know how it's going to react once there are once there are like once there's that much data like flowing over the wire. I don't know what it's going to do. So, oh, I also forgot. Pop out the chat in case anyone wants to show up. Okay, let's start working on that. I do have, unsurprisingly, some code that we can base this off of. I believe in here. I believe I have code that we can base this off of. I think in this, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. I don't know why I called it stats.add2stats or sites.add. Oh, that's why. Because it's under sites. Read stats by date. I'm going to need a site ID, a start date, an end date. I don't think I need these because I think, yeah, these were used in like filter expressions. Oh, to get a date range. Start ISO string. I don't think I needed this. Yeah, I don't think I need that. I can always go back and get it later if I do. I think what I need is the start and end date. And pretty much what this will do, oh, maybe I do need that. How did I get the dates? Aha, I get date range. So I don't need this, but I do need the get date range. And since I've already written that function, I'm just going to copy it. So what this does is days between start date and end date divided by 1 day in milliseconds. So this one will probably be different because in the calendar API, I was going based off of like ISO strings. So if you gave it a start date or a start date time, end date time, it would be an ISO string format. And then to get the date range between the two, I had to kind of like do some string manipulation and then figure out what it all looked like in between. So I could do that. I could just reuse that function, but I think, or I hope, there's a better way to do if you're just doing dates and not date times. I'm really hoping for temporal soon, but I don't think it's ready. Yeah, it's experimental. Yeah. I'm excited for that one. Whenever it does get out. Either way, I'm looking for this to be dates. I think, where's the constructor? Try to see year, month, index, day. Value. Date string? What's this date string? Okay. Aha. Oh. Browser differences. Well, I'm not using a browser. Maybe, just maybe, I can pass in something like that. Let's see. Let's see how Node reacts when I do that. New date. Let's say 2022, March 1st. But, oh, because it does it in UTC. Oh, interesting. Time zones. Yeah, it does it in UTC. So, that's interesting. When I add it to stats, when I add it in with the secondary ID, it just uses, or sorry, it's the ID, not the secondary ID. It uses new date to ISO string split. I think to ISO string also defaults it to UTC. Let's see if there's anything particular that it says about that. Because if not, I might have to change some stuff around. 0 UTC offset. So Whenever stats get passed in, they will be based on UTC. Whenever they're read, they should also be based on UTC. And if I ever wanted to change that in the future, what I would have to do is in here, create a new date, set, is there a way to set time zone? I don't know. Set time. So like a set offset? No, there's not. There's a get time zone offset, but there's no set time zone offset. So I would have to somehow figure out how to translate that into. I would need like, I think the site or the user, the owner of the site would have to tell me what uh, what time zone is preferred for the dates to roll over, and then I would have to do some manipulation in here and in here as well. But for now, I think that's probably okay. So I'll just do new date in this form. So I want these to be date, and then we'll have start date and end date. And those would be in UTC at like 000 at the beginning of the day, and then this get date range function, what does it do? Days in between, it subtracts them, divides them by a day, and then dates, it starts with the date, and then it iterates through. I don't know, I think this is probably a perfectly fine function. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Put it in here. So in sites, well, I probably don't need to pull all of it. Which one's inside? Yeah, this one. This is mine now. Okay, there's my get date range. And now that's used, and then I have my dates, and then I have partition key. Oh. ID, date. Let's see. Why does that look so weird? Why is this gold? Is it just the nesting? Yeah, because this isn't. Must be something weird with like the theme I'm using. I think that's okay. Start string. Oh. No, because I'm not doing filter expressions. I'm just getting them. It's not a query. I need like a bulk get item. Is that a thing? I had to do something, batch get item, that's what I'm looking for. I had to do something that like queried in DynamoDB, but I don't need that anymore. I just need the bulk. Batch get item, that's the one. More than 100 items. Well, that's good to know. So my document client, let's see. I don't know how it handles it. I'll pull my bookmark for it. Is it this? That's this. It has a batch. Batch get command input. And it's request items. Sometimes these docs are difficult to read. And then keys. What? Okay. It doesn't look too crazy. String. Oh, that's probably table name? I think that's how they normally work with the batches. This string is like it's the table name. Let's see if it says anything. Every single. No, it doesn't say anything, but I'm pretty sure that this string is supposed to be the table name. So my guess is const get item request is equal to, we have request items, and then we have table name, right? I think that's how you do that. If it's like a string, I think that's how you do it. Attributes to get. We will probably, what did it say about projection expression? What is attributes to get though? Legacy. Okay, use projection expression. String that identifies one or more attributes to retrieve from the table. If no attribute names, then all attributes be returned. Accessing item attributes. Oh, I guess that's for like, what else did I store in sites? Like the TTL. Yeah, we can tell it to not do that. I think we should probably, since we don't know what statistics are going to be in here, we know that the only one we don't want is TTL, but we don't know which ones we do want specifically because there could be custom ones. So let's leave that the way it is. Let's go back to the table name. And then I need keys. I don't really know what this means. I don't know if I've done a batch get item before. I don't really know what it's supposed to look like. I'm sure there are examples online though. This is probably not the best link to click. I'm guessing the keys are just the primary key attribute values that define the items and the attributes associated with the items. Array of string to attribute value. Oh, so keys is not an object. keys is an array of objects where, for example, ID is whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna have keys as its own thing. This is going to go down here, and then I'm going to fill in keys separately. So we're going to have keys, whoops. And then for each day, we're going to have keys dot push ID is, where's the ID? Oh yeah, just this. We're going to push that. And then the keys get pushed in there, and then the item request is part of patch kit. I don't know. That's from me. I don't know what it's called. Batch get? Is it just batch get? Oh. What was it for this one that I copied? I always click lib. I don't know why I always click lib. Database, events. This is a query. Did I have a batch on this? I could have sworn I had batches on this. Batch right. Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the table name thing. So it's just batch right. This will just be batch get. With the batch get item request. And then we'll await this stats. That doesn't need to happen. And then we have maybe like stats by date. This is pretty similar. And then this is stats results or stat. They're not guaranteed to come back in order. So what I need to do is on the date, I need to get I need to pull the date out of the ID. Yeah. It's a return an item. What does it return? Responses, and that's the table name. See, this was different because it was a query. So what I need to do is get the date. And I need to make it stat. I also don't know how, it might be different with like the document client. There's output. It is responses. Okay. Native attribute. So this would be stats.responses for each stat. We want stat, and then this is probably dot ID dot split by the hash. It's not necessarily good that I have all these hashes floating around. I should probably make that like a configuration item, but and after I split it, how do I get the last? It's like -1, right? Dot length -1. Slice. Okay. So date is going to equal hash parts dot length -1. I guess you do the -1 because it's 0 index. Then we have the date, and then let's see. Let's pull out like the to return. So we're gonna pull out TTL stat to return. So we don't want the TTL. Yeah. So there's that. We want the stat that we're returning. So that would include the ID. So I don't really want the ID either. Nor do I want the secondary ID. It should just be... Oh, we're reading these here. It should just be pretty much what was passed in. Like a sum of all the payloads passed in. Yeah. Okay. And then I'll return stats by date. And I like here returning an object instead of a list. I could have returned a list and ordered it by like from start to end. I don't like that because let's say there are no stats for a particular day. Let's say like the third day in a request for 5. Well, then that list would just have, I guess you could make it an empty object, but I like having, you'd have a list of like objects and then make it an empty object if it's not there. But I like this better because you can directly access it by date, and then if it's not there, if it's undefined, then you just throw some sort of error on the client's end that it doesn't exist. I like that a little better, personally. One second. Okay, do I need more comments on this? Start date, end date, get date range, keys, create all the keys. That's our request. We send our request. Then we pull out each statistic. We get the date from it. We pull out everything that we're not returning, return it. Okay, so that's our read. Do I have an endpoint in here for that? Yes. I don't think I did anything though, did I? No. Okay. Oh wait, no, it's in stats. Stats get. There we go. Okay. So this is stats by date. And I think we just actually we're just gonna return that as the body. There's the body, that'll go to the port. No, we don't want the created status code. We just want the OK. What's that one called? Good. It's just a 200. Then the port just passes it through. No, we don't need the payload in this one. We need start and end date if they exist. So I need, let's see, let's go back to calendar API because I'm pretty sure the similar endpoint had similar logic. Yeah, start time and end time. So I also need to do that. I need to make my model. But there's the start time and end time, and that's what I'll pass in. And this is actually date and date. That's what that will look like. I don't need that anymore. This is the port. I want it to just have the same signature. Same with the logic. And then in the logic, I don't think I need this. Oh, I probably need the site ID, don't I? How was I doing that in here? Okay. Close, but not quite. So I need the site ID as well. Oops. Port, and there's the site ID. And then this will have the same signature. Because ports are mostly just pass-throughs. We have the site ID. Is that what I've been calling the... Let's see, what do I call them? Oh, that's from auth. Okay. The unique ID is not there. And then I pass all that through to the port, and the port is the authorization. Okay. Okay. So this will all also get passed. So what's this port going to be called? Just fold all these. We're going to call it read from stats, or what do we? Yeah, we'll just call it that. And this will have unique ID, site ID, start date, and end date. And let's move this into its proper alphabetical order. Okay, and it'll be similar to this. So add to stats is open, but read is not. So I need to authorize the user for this site. Then how do I... oh, it'll throw. Is that correct? Yeah, it'll throw if the site's not there, or if you're unauthorized, it'll throw. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that helps. So I just need to run that. That'll throw if it doesn't like it. And then I'm going to get stats by date from sites.read from, no, what is it called? Read stats by date. And they want an ID and all this. Yeah. Okay. And then we return. It's pretty much all done in the database. But yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I think it's pretty much just supposed to pass stuff through. Okay. Sure. Let's, I guess, push it and see what happens. I'll do some, oh, I need to import this, don't I? And this will be called stats by date. Okay. I need to lint. I haven't done that in a while. Alright, so the synth was fine, but this is not. Database sites, logs never used. Okay, 145. That needs a semicolon. 151, 152. Fair. That probably needs a colon or a semicolon. ID is already declared 162. ID is already declared in the upper scope. Oh. Oops. Call partition key. Secondary ID is 2, right? No, it's called stat secondary ID. Okay. So I can pull that out. Now in get date range. 13, 14, 16. We have semicolon issues. And 17. We have unexpected spaces after 4 at the 20. Okay. Unary operator not used 24. What? Not used. Oh, you're not supposed to use it. New line required at the end of the file. Well, I'll just have to save it for that. No plus plus. That's a fun rule name. Yes, lint, no plus plus. So what's the fix? What should I do instead? Plus equals? Okay. Subject to automatic semicolon insertion, differences in white space can change the semantics of source code. Fair enough. I will change it for you. What else? Stats get index. Stats. Oh, with these guys? Okay. Alright. Let's try that again. And then I guess I'll update. Loggers assignment never used. I think I'm fine with that. Let's go ahead and click it. So at least linting went through. That saved me from a couple things, right? Like this guy, that would have caused me an issue. But I think we'll just have to make a request and see what it looks like. Stats, yeah, because we're gonna get it. Posted it. Now we get it. There's no JSON. There's no body. But there are query parameters. There's start date. Oh, I didn't do anything about that, did I? So right now it needs, the start date and end date need to be passed in. But what I should do in here, or maybe in the logic, no, it would be in the port. In the port, I would do validation for the logic. So I need to make sure that start date is before end date. If no end date, make it current day. If end date, but start date but not end date, make end date current day. If end date but not start date, throw error. So if there is a, I guess this one goes kind of, I guess I would go at the bottom. So if there's no start date and no end date, okay. If neither start nor end date, make both date. So if there's no start date and no end date, just make them both the current day. And I think the get date range utility function would be able to work with that. If there is a start date but not an end date, make the end date the current day. If there is an end date but not a start date, we have to throw an error because I don't know when the start date is supposed to be. Yeah. And make sure, if both of them are present, make sure that the start date is before the end date. So I'll do this as, I guess today, is it the 6th month? I don't expect this to work, but you know, you gotta fail at some point. As expected. Let's see what the problem was. This is an API gateway now. It's not an async thing. Go down to the bottom. This one. Find the Lambda function. Find the logs. What do we have? What? It's in here, right? Auth is undefined. Oh, I bet I know what this is. If this stuff is not getting injected, that means that I don't have it set up in my infrastructure. Stats get. Oh, no, it should be there. Auth is none. Why is auth none? Site set ID stats get. That's right, isn't it? Site ID slash stats slash get. That's there too. Hmm. That's in auth utils. Well, let's make sure other things work. Yeah, I mean, that's there. Just gets a 404, which is expected. So the JWT and stuff is still working. Query. I would have sworn it would have been something like this. And that's all the same. And this is... Oh. That's why. I was just missing that forward slash. Oh man. It's always the little things. It's always the little tiny details. Those are what'll get you. Yeah, I knew something was up with that. It just, I couldn't see it from here, and I also knew that there was something wrong because this said none. It was just the name was off. That leading slash, that's all it was. Now we wait till we encounter our first real error. And after this, so once I get this endpoint done, I think I have gotten the MVP done. I think That's what I want. Delete sites ID. Did I have that? Yeah, okay. So these will all be done. All of the endpoints that are open will be complete. You will have to know how to operate the service in order to actually use it. But it will be complete. Um, and at that point, let's see. I don't know what I would do. I guess I could work on a front end for it. Alright, there we go. Internal server error, but I'm guessing, yeah. We have the auth now, so it's probably not the auth that's the problem. We're probably actually at a real error. Still undefined? Are you kidding me? It probably just had, the API gateway probably just hasn't fully redeployed. Because it's definitely there. What? Okay, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. There's the authentication information. Start get date range with those. The dates are just one. Responses.for each is not a function. Oh, so responses isn't an array? What? What is responses then? What? Item? This is get item. I want batch get item. Response? Oh, it's not. Ah, dang it. It's the table name, right? Is it accessing the table name? Consists of a table name along with a map of... Ah, darn it. Here I was dreaming so many steps in advance when I haven't even got close to this. Okay. This is table name. Whoops. Table name. Is it caps? What? Whatever. Responses. Oh, it probably should be a dot. It'd just be table name. And the table name will be an array of all this. But I'm still going to... Is it logger dot? Yeah. I'll just do stats. Yeah, what the heck. Yeah, so I will know how to operate it, and I guess anyone who watches all these videos, salute to you if you did that. You will also know how this service operates. And my main goal for all of this was to get my own blog off of Google Analytics and onto some privacy-focused alternative, whether I paid for it or built it myself. I like building things, so I thought I'd rather build it myself. And here we are, almost at the end. But once I get that done, if I slap a front end on top of it, then I'll have pretty much what I need. Then I'm going to have to either create a script or just manually call the fetch API whenever someone hits the page, to actually count my statistics, and then, um, yeah, that'll just about be that. Um, Now I'm trying to think. Yeah, I guess like a simple graph and some numbers, or I could probably just start off with a table, to be honest, and then I could just do whatever I wanted to with it. Then it's just building on top of it and making it better. Um, some of that future stuff, um, I think the big thing, I think the most important thing will be making a nice looking front end. I think that's what most people are probably going to look for. Yeah. And I think I wrote this down, but what I want to do, and I don't know if this is a good idea or not, I want to make it with Alpine and as minimal JavaScript as I can, mostly HTML and CSS. And when I host it using S3 and CloudFront, I have done this before, but I have never done this in a personal project, so I had some extra like internal tools to help me host the website. Um, and it was also not just basic HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. I imagine with just a basic web page, I think it will probably be easier than if I had some JavaScript framework. A lot of the stuff I've done in the past is Next.js, and other React-based applications. So I imagine this will be, or I'm hoping, this will be refreshing to pare down on the amount of overhead that my web application carries. Don't want it to be large. I don't want it to be some huge spa. Oh, look at that. I think that's expected because I don't think I have anything. So let me post a stat. And I guess, wait a second. And there it is. There's my stat. I've got my stat. Let's mess with this. Let's do hello world. And let's do other stat. Let's see if it gets that as well. Oh my goodness, it's working. All right. That's that. You saw it here first. I'm sure act like it's so grandiose. I'm sure there's still bugs in this thing, um, but I'm a believer that you should use your own products. And as I use my product, the bugs will become apparent, and I will iron them out as I go along. But as far as the original MVP design, I think that's actually it. I think that might actually be it. This is done. Let's start putting done out here. This part's done. This part I need some validation, so I won't mark this done. I'm not gonna do a put. I decided on that when I implemented it. I'm sure I could change it though. There'd be just a toggle. That's not necessarily done, but yeah, the endpoint is complete. That one is done, right? View count and other statistics. Oh, did I want to do that? I don't think I wanted to do that. I think I wanted yeah, I don't think I wanted to do that. Yeah, because that'd be a lot. That'd be adding in like the stats as well as, yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I have that, and then I have that. Post sites, get sites by ID. Yeah, I mean, I need to add in validation. Yeah, I need to add in validation, which would be in here. But other than that, it's done. So I think I think this is a good stopping point for now. So um, I didn't get the validation done, and I also still want to write tests for it. So that's what I will probably do. I'll probably work on the validation first, and then I'll probably write my pigeon tests for it. Right. So pretty much what I did in Insomnia. I want to be able to post a stat and then um, like wait 2 seconds or whatever, and then get it again, just to make sure it all looks the way I want it to, and yeah. Um, but I don't think that'll be wildly difficult to do since I already have all this like boilerplate stuff in here. So that's good. Um, yeah. We'll do validation, and then we'll do tests, and then in the next stream, I guess, and then we're on to the front end, and that's gonna be something because that's all new to me. So that one might take a little while, but that's fine. That's all part of it. So, all right. I guess thank you for watching. If you did, if you're interested in using some of this, now that I've pretty much gone through the whole thing and built out the MVP, if you're interested in using this as well and providing feedback and whatnot, especially since this is pretty new, I would love that. Please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help someone set it up or use, we can use like a shared infrastructure. We can just use the API that I have deployed. Or if you want to use any of what I've done, this is all open source. I'll push it after this. Um, and yeah, I love hearing from people. So please reach out. Please feel free. I think that's all for now, though. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.